So, Don, how are you doing?
Okay, I guess.
So, you were discharged from hospital last Friday, is that right?
I think so, yes.
And you were on the psychiatric ward for 6 days. How was that?
Noisy.
Yes, they can be noisy places, that's true. And how have you been feeling since you've been back home?
Well, I've just been sleeping most of the time.
Because you've been feeling tired?
Just to block it all out, really.
I see the hospital gave you 2 Zopiclone to help with your sleep and 4 diazepam to help with your anxiety. Have you been taking those tablets?
Um, just the anxiety ones.
So I can leave you with 4 more diazepam if you need them.
Oh, okay.
Now, it says here that you overdosed. Can you remember much about what happened?
Not much. I may have been drinking a bit. Well, okay, yes, I was quite drunk. It was the middle of the night, and the thought of having to go to bed and get up and go through one more day was just, you know, too much. And so I swallowed a bottle of paracetamol.
And then you called your friend.
Well, I just wanted to say goodbye, before I went.
And he was the one that called the emergency services.
I didn't want him to. It wasn't a cry for help.
What was it then, do you think, Don?
I just had no interest in carrying on. Not
Since what?
since Peter died.
And who was Peter?
He was my friend.
Your friend?
Oh, no, he wasn't a friend. That's not fair on him.
Not fair.
He was my partner, my lover. We'd been together 23 years.
Oh, gosh. That's a long time. And then he passed away.
I'm so tired.
We don't have to talk about him if you don't want to.
He committed suicide last year.
Gosh. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Well,
And do you think that's what's contributed to you feeling like you wanted to take your own life?
I just feel so broken, like I'll never be able to put myself or anything together again. I've been trying, but I'm so weary. And now I'm getting older. I'm not sure there's time to mend. So I thought, well, why not join him now?
And have you still been having suicidal thoughts since the hospital discharge?
No, I can't go through all that again. And I can see that's not the answer. And I don't want to worry my friends or you.
Well, I'm glad that's what you're currently thinking. But I hope that in time you might find your own reasons for carrying on living as well. Tell me about Peter, if you can.
What about it?
What happened? How it affected you?
Gosh, no one's ever asked me that before. Even close friends seem to want to avoid the subject completely. So, Peter, yes, well, he'd been depressed for months, years perhaps. He was such a troubled soul, but kind and sensitive, Too kind, maybe? He'd had a terrible childhood, which he'd tried to forget, but it haunted him. And then he'd been married for a while, when he was younger, trying to be straight, and that didn't work out. But he had a daughter, Marie.
And did you get on with her?
She thought I'd taken her father away from her, and after his death, she blamed me. She said that Because I lived with him, I should have known that I should have spotted it, prevented it. She wrote these letters to me all through last year, just picking and picking at it like a scab. I was completely to blame, according to her.
And so Peter was living with you when it happened?
I was away for one night on business. I was worried about him, so the day before I went, I called the GP saying that I didn't want to leave him alone and could they possibly check in on him. But they said that Peter had to make contact with the surgery directly himself. I said, couldn't you just send someone around to, assess him, because I was worried. They asked me if I was related to him. And I said no, because, well, we hadn't got round to doing the civil partnership. And so they never came. He said he'd be fine without me for one day or a night, and I shouldn't worry. But as soon as I'd gone, apparently, he went into the woods in the evening when it was dark and took a torch and some rope, and some walkers found him the next day.
I'm so sorry. That must have just been simply devastating.
I was at a conference. Someone came and took me to an office and they passed the phone over to me and it was the police. And I couldn't speak. Couldn't move. I remember looking at a small stain on the carpet and people were saying words to me, but I wasn't really there. I wasn't present. And I'm not sure that I ever want to be present ever again. I'm sorry. No point in crying now, after all this time. I'm just feeling sorry for myself.
You've every reason to feel this way. What you've been through, his loss and then your own sorrow, no wonder you're feeling overwhelmed.
I should never have left him alone that night. I was his partner. He was my whole life. Nothing makes any sense to me now. I miss him. I ache for him. It's in the morning. And when I go to bed at night and he's not there and there's this almost deafening silence.
I really want to try and help, if I can. I'll see what support services are available. Maybe a bereavement group or something similar?
No. I don't really want to see other people.
Well, maybe not now, but it's something to think about when you're ready, where you might be able to get some support for all you've been through. Meanwhile, I'll come round again if I may, and we can speak every few days. And with your permission, I'm going to recommend that the GP finds you some counselling sessions. I don't know how soon that might occur, but hopefully that can be done fairly soon, and I will get back to you if you have no objections.
I guess if I am to go on living, I have to do some things differently, don't I?
But only when you feel ready and able to. But yes, together, I hope we can turn this terrible corner and then begin to see at least a glimmer of light and hope for your own future after all you've been through.
Thank you.
I really do want to help, Don.
Thank you.